Right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Litecoin and how Litepay is helping to propel the price of Litecoin forward. And after I talk about that, for anybody that wants to stick around past the main topic, I have a whole bunch of news to go over. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of articles up. We've got a bunch of good stuff today. Before I begin, I would like to thank a couple donators. We have NorseFire down here who donated 0.15 Ethereum. Very, very thankful for that. Thank you so much. And a new donator, Ethan Sefchik, who donated $2 on PayPal. I appreciate all of the donations, big or small, either way. They're always appreciated, and they usually go to a really good source. So, another thing is that unfortunately, one of my related channels is Trevon James. Very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. Anyway, so I want to talk about Litepay. If you don't know what Litepay is a new app that has come out, and it's also for PC, and it's for your phone as well. And you can essentially pay anybody with Litecoin. Now, I know we kind of already have those sorts of things with Coinbase and things like that, but that is sort of a third-party Coinbase app, and now it is just specifically for Litecoin. It's specifically to receive and to send Litecoin any amount for a flat fee of 1%. So, you know, if you're a small business owner and you want to accept payments in Litecoin, you can use the Litepay app. Also, it has a debit card feature that unfortunately is a little bit broken right now, and it is a delayed release. It is not currently out, but the debit card, you will be able to load Litecoin on the debit card and then say go to your local store and then actually be able to scan your card and pay in Litecoin instead. So that's a really, really cool feature, and that's just like one small step forward. I was almost about to say one small step for man. Kind of is. In order to get you know, major retailers to accept cryptocurrency, because I thoroughly believe, and regardless if you don't like or you do like Walmart and Target and these major retailers, if they start to accept cryptocurrency, then that's when cryptocurrency is going to get really, really big. Because whether you like them or not, you have to be objective and realistic about the fact that Walmart, Target, and these major retailers all across America are simply dominating the sales of the planet, essentially. I think Amazon is a little bit bigger than them, but either way, you know that everybody's just... If you look at a Walmart parking lot, just look how packed it is. And imagine everybody paying in cryptocurrency or being able to pay in cryptocurrency. That would be absolutely huge. So keep that in mind. So Litecoin is currently up 10% on the day, according to CoinMarketCap. This time, or according to CoinMarketCap, this time 24 hours ago, it was trading at just over $200, and during Asian trading this morning, it hit an all-time high of 234. Not an all-time high, a high of 234, before retreating a little bit to $228. Litecoin peaked at $252 on February 21st, but it's fallen back by 20% in subsequent days. But so goes the Wild West world of crypto. And again, don't fear big drops like that. Just take it as a positive thing, because that's when you can soak up more crypto, or if you had sold at 252 or somewhere around there, you could pick it up 20% lower and then resold it again once it gets back to 250. And that's how we're all making our money in the Wild West crypto. So today is the day that Litepay launches, and this has undoubtedly caused Litecoin to be the only altcoin showing steady growth at the moment. So a flattening prediction. Litecoin founder Charlie Lee has remained very vocal about his baby since he sold off his stash a few months ago. The latest prediction is that Litecoin market capacity will exceed that of Bitcoin Cash. I hope. If you're new to my channel, you know that I'm completely biased against one coin and one coin only, and that is Bitcoin Cash, and what he's been referring to as the flappening. So he's really hoping, and I think everybody's really hoping, that Litecoin is going to go above Bitcoin Cash as soon as possible. At least I hope everybody is. So this is the Litepay site, and so you can go ahead and you can sign up on here. You can get the app, and the card unfortunately is delayed, so you can't get the debit card yet. But you know, credit cards take up to 3% processing fees on every transaction, except Litecoin, and that 3% is particularly on retailers. So if you're a small business or a business owner, that 3% is almost always on you. So when you go to the store and you pay exactly $1 with your debit card, then you pay $1. Usually you don't see those fees. It's actually the retailer that takes those fees. So that's kind of a problem. And that just kind of goes to Visa or MasterCard. And really they don't provide much of a purpose other than walking around with your card. So I kind of like the fact that it's a much lower fee. And get direct bank deposits in your own currency for a simple flat 1% settlement charge. Oh, and another great thing about Litepay is that when you receive Litecoin with Litepay, you can choose to actually turn that automatically into fiat into your bank account. So say you're a small business owner, you're sitting in your shop, somebody comes in and they pay with Litepay $50 in Litecoin. Well, you might be the type of person that doesn't really like Litecoin or any cryptocurrency, and that's okay. Maybe you just like the good old American dollar or whatever dollar that you particularly use, and that's fine because, you know, the US dollar still makes the world go around, you know, got to pay your electric bill somehow. So that's actually going to turn that Litecoin, that $50 in Litecoin, into actually $50, and you don't even have to worry about it. So you don't have to go on Coinbase or an exchange or anything like that and sell it, then transfer it to your bank account. It does it automatically through the app. So that's super, super awesome. So let's take a look at Litecoin. As you can see, it has bursted up quite a bit, and it's been flowing all around today, but this is a really good day trading day, actually. These are really good day trading days. So if you take a look at the chart here, you can just sell and buy and sell, and I really like those even wavy days when they're just going straight up. Well, that's great because you're holding on to coins and you can sell it later, and when it's going down, that's never all that great anyway. And I do like to look at things positively, and of course when prices are going down, then you can just simply buy more. But nice wavy days are really good day trading days, so keep a watch out for those for anybody that is a day trader. So I wanted to show you guys this as well, and this has to do with the debit card. So to my understanding, Litepay debit cards are not happening, at least for now. The only thing being launched today are the signups for merchants, and I thought Litepay cards would be accepted anywhere that accepts debit cards. And so it seems no one really knows how Litepay works, and their website doesn't really make sense in explaining it. And this company saw this delay coming. Why did you wait until the launch date to announce this? And most importantly, what's the reason for this? And Charlie Lee, this was a tweet to Charlie Lee. He said, you should ask them. And he said, wow, so now Charlie Lee, no responsibility for the delay. And his response was, why should I take responsibility? I don't work on or for Litepay. And which is true. He doesn't use he didn't make Litepay, and he doesn't work for Litepay. And then one person kind of came back and says, why the hell are you promoting each and every event related to them? So stop doing such acts that you can't take responsibility or accountability for, which, yeah, I kind of get it. But then again, you know, Charlie Lee was a creator of Litecoin. So anything that's really going to boost Litecoin, of course, he's going to maybe promote a little bit and be excited for it. Because if you made a coin and it was successful as Litecoin, and somebody comes out and makes an app called Litepay, unbeknownst to you, well, I'm sure he knew about it, but, without you actually working on it, I think that's pretty cool. Like if I made a crypto coin, and somebody made a really, really great app out of it, I would be pretty proud of that too. So I can see it both ways. So that is why Litecoin is going up a lot more right now. You know, a lot of the coins are actually going up with it, but I would keep a close watch on Litecoin right now because I think it's set to go up, you know, a good $20 or $30 at the very least, because of Litepay, and at least because of this this positive non-FUD. I guess it's like the inverted FUD. So it's a lot of positive news about Litecoin, and that just makes people buy Litecoin. So that's a good thing. So if you're holding on to Litecoin, hold on to it for now. Maybe set a price, you know, 30 or 40 bucks higher, something like that, whatever you feel comfortable with, and it might just sell. So now I want to talk about some news. So Georgia lawmakers propose tax amendment that allows Bitcoin payments. Now this is the state of Georgia, not the country of Georgia, not the capital of, I can never really pronounce it right because I'm not Georgian. So Tbilisi. I always just say Tbilisi and just make the T silent, the T and S silent, and just kind of like Tbilisi. But anyway, so the residents for the state of Georgia may soon be able to pay their taxes in Bitcoin. And if you have followed my channel, I have actually talked about Arizona, and Arizona was the first state to begin doing this, and now I believe Georgia is the second state. It might even be the third state. I thought I saw another one of a different state, but this is starting to be pretty good, and I actually have mixed feelings on this. So first of all, as much as I love cryptocurrency, it can go up and down, and it does have the potential to just crash completely. Now, I know that that's a really, really small chance, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to FUD or anything like that, but, you know, it doesn't have a central bank behind it that can prop the price of it up. And I understand that we're all trying to get away from the central banks. Don't get me wrong, I definitely have some beef with most central banks, as they're kind of inherently bad in a number of ways. They're good in very few ways and bad in very many ways. However, if cryptocurrency happened to crash super bad, that means that all these taxes that that the state would be collecting would be essentially worth nothing. And then who would be paving roads and things like that? So imagine if half of their revenue, you know, some years down the line, let's say 4 or 5 years down the line, everybody's into crypto, and half of the currency that they receive in taxes is crypto, and it happens to crash super, super bad. That means that only half of their funds have not crashed, the US dollar, and then half of them have crashed. That means there's a lot less taxes to go around. And taxes, now I know everybody hates taxes, but taxes get the job done. It really does. Empowers your schools, your power plants, your hospitals. That's why you can go into a hospital if you have a broken leg and you don't have insurance. You know, they're gonna fix you up regardless, right? You know, everybody's gonna get paid in the hospital, even if you don't pay the bill. It's taxes, okay? They're gonna pave your roads, taxes. I get it, but so it's a double-edged sword. I like it and I don't like it. So moving on from that one, that's about all I can say on that. Hacked Japanese exchange considers capital tie-up to regain public trust. Ooh, this is some, I would want to say some juicy drama sauce, but this is the bad kind of sauce, the very, very, very bad sauce. So Japanese cryptocurrency exchange Coincheck is reportedly considered a capital tie-up in order to regain the trust of crypto investors following a recent hack where 58 billion yen of cryptocurrency was lost. Now, how much is 58 billion yen worth compared to US dollars? I should have looked that up before I started the video. It's probably not that much. It's probably more like, I'm going to throw it out there, $50 million. So that's still quite a bit. The problem is with this is that even though they wanted to do the capital tie-up and pay people back, the exchange wanted to give back, I think it's something like, where was it in this article? The exchange lost 58 billion yen worth of cryptocurrency, and they wanted to repay customers approximately 46 million yen. So that's a big difference. That's a really, really big difference. That's an order of like what, like 3 times, in terms of exponents different. So 46 million yen is nowhere near 58 billion yen. That would be like the equivalent of, I know that yen is much, much lower than the US dollar, but if that was $46 million giving back and a $58 billion loss, that would be nowhere near. Everybody would get a few bucks relatively. So not good at all. And you can see it on his face. He is very, very upset. So how do these exchanges get hacked in the first place? And that really boggles my mind, because most exchanges, at least the ones that I use, have cold storage. So for example, like Coinbase and GDAX, you know, they're one and the same. Over 90% of their coins, I think it's like something like 98% of their coins, or 92+% of their coins. It's some huge factor of their coins are all the time in cold storage. So that means that nobody can hack that. And if they did, it would be like a Ocean's 11 kind of assault. And you'd have to have people go in there with a, and he'd have to it'd be like Mission Impossible coming down on the wires and then inserting a thumb drive into the cold storage, which is essentially just a server or something like that that isn't connected to the internet at all. So those can't be hacked, and if they are, then it's probably some kind of inside job or somebody physically broke in there and did it. Now, this reminds me of NiceHash being hacked. They lost, what was that, like $63 million, something like that? I think it was like 4,300 or 4,400 some Bitcoin. I can't remember the exact number now, but it's something like 4,400 Bitcoin at the time. And at the time, Bitcoin was at a high price. I believe it was like $10,000 or $12,000 at the time. And they lost a lot. So they have yet to pay everybody back. They paid 10% back. Whoop-de-doo. 10%. And then they said that they will pay people back in the upcoming months in installments. So what does that even mean? Nobody knows. The problem with NiceHash is that they clearly had all of their eggs in one basket. And then another problem with NiceHash, sort of unrelated, is that they hold your coins hostage. So they, at first they were like, oh yeah, you can transfer to Coinbase for free after the hack, and all you have to have is 0.0015, and then it's 0.0005, or excuse me, 0.005. So they keep changing the number, and then if you have an external wallet, once in a while, whenever they feel like it, and whenever the fees are down, they'll pay you at 0.01 Bitcoin. At other times, they will refuse to pay you until 0.1 Bitcoin. Now, 0.1 Bitcoin is a significant amount of money. 0.1 Bitcoin currently is something like, oh, what's the price of Bitcoin? Something like 11, oh, here it is, 10,600. So that would be 1,060 or something like that right now, 0.1 Bitcoin and some odd change. So you essentially have to mine $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Now, for some people in the world, that's not too bad. They have a big rig farm. But if you just have a computer with 3-4 graphics cards, something like that, or maybe you just have a couple rigs, that's going to take you months to get $1,000 in Bitcoin. So that is ridiculous. And so a lot of these exchanges and a lot of these mining services are not handling their crypto correctly, and it really boggles my mind why they're not. It seems very simple to put your coins in cold storage, or at least not put them all in one basket. If you're not going to have them in cold storage, at least put them in various wallets or something like that. If you can just go into their system, and I'm sure it's very hard to do, so mind you, I couldn't do it, and I don't mean to make it sound easy, but if you can just hack into their system and take all of their coins from one basket, then NiceHash, you did it wrong, very wrong, including this this exchange here. Very wrong. I'm not even a certified database security administrator, or anything like that. And it would just occur to me, I think the first thing I would do if somebody was like, hey, I want to hire you, I think the first thing I'd do is be like, I'm not qualified for this. And they'd be like, well, the first thing I would say is be like, put all your coins in cold storage. I think it's pretty easy. So moving on to the next one. Next. So 50 Cent, Fiddy, says he never owned Bitcoin in new court filings. So 50 Cent, for a while back, said he was a Bitcoin millionaire and that he had like 700 Bitcoin or something like that. And now he's filing for bankruptcy. How he's filing for bankruptcy, I'll never know, because if I had the millions of dollars that 50 Cent had, I would have a ton of mutual stock and various stocks, mutual stock, some in cryptocurrency and such. I would have a very diverse portfolio. And I don't even understand how these millionaires go bankrupt. I don't get it. How lavish can you live? It's like those people that win the lottery, and they'll win like the $14 million lottery or whatever, so they'll come out with like 14 million, or after taxes it would be like 7, but let's just say, $14 million or whatever. And then they go out and they buy this big old house, and they don't realize that they have, once you buy a big $1 million house, you have to pay $1 million property tax on that sort of thing. It's not cheap. $1 million house insurance, $1 million lawn upkeep, And then they get all these cars. They'll go out and buy Lamborghinis. Do you know how much an insurance costs on a Lamborghini? A Lamborghini's like $400,000. Can you imagine the insurance for full coverage on a Lamborghini? It would be like, it'd have to be like $2,000 a month minimum. So these people, I never got it, but either way, let's read the article here. Performance artist 50 Cent, I like to say 50, Jackson may not be a Bitcoin millionaire after all. The American rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, stated in a bankruptcy court filing obtained by The Blast, that seems like a credible source, that he has never owned and does not now own a Bitcoin account or any Bitcoin. I'm going to call BS on that, because here's the thing. I guess if I was in big financial trouble, I would, you know, if you're going under, you might as well give it a shot and try and hide all your cryptocurrency, because right now the government is pretty bad at finding cryptocurrency, and I would put it somewhere or give it to somebody else for a while. If I had $1 million in Bitcoin or something like that, which I certainly don't. I'm just kidding. If I had millions of dollars in Bitcoin, or $700, he had $700 worth of Bitcoin, which is worth approximately $8 million. So I would probably hide it, you know, and then as soon as all the bankruptcy is over, I would just slowly trickle on it or live on it. I would buy myself like a nice a small little house or something like that, so nobody would notice, and then I would just live great for till the end of my days on my $8 million in Bitcoin. So I definitely don't have $1 million in Bitcoin, but if I did, I'd probably hide it very well in the case of bankruptcy. I don't mean to sound shady or anything like that, but what I'm trying to say is that he says he never owned Bitcoin after clearly stating that he had 700 Bitcoin a while back. So that's kind of an interesting topic. And I think we'll see a lot more of that in the future, with people filing bankruptcy or losing all their money or some things like that, you know, or being sued, and then they're hiding their Bitcoin, because it's very hard to find Bitcoin. I mean, you know, you could have it on a thumb drive and nobody would really know that you had it, unless you specifically took all your money and bought it. I guess you could hide it very well. You could launder it very well. So anyway, so what banned? China's crypto exchanges didn't just survive, they're thriving. So it began like this. Officials from the People's Bank of China stepped into the to the offices of the largest crypto exchanges in the country and sat down with their executives from the financial regulators, Shanghai and Beijing bureaus. The officials told the exchanges they were interested in identifying whether anti-money laundering and capital control mandates were being met. But according to Robin Zhu, chief operating officer at Huobi, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I'll have to look that up because I don't speak Chinese too well. So I'm gonna go Huobi. I'm gonna go with that. The regulators had an ulterior motive that January day. The regulators wanted to grab a big picture of how significant cryptocurrency trading was in China, which it's probably pretty big, even with after the bans. How does Bitcoin work? Where does the money come from? Where does it go to? And how do people make and lose money? So they're looking for all these things. And so interesting that Huobi Group is still going strong. So in case you guys didn't know, in the long term, we think crypto trading has more potential than fiat. And all this sort of thing. This long article, it kind of drones on and on. But one of the exchanges that's mentioned often is Huobi Pro. And so if you guys don't know what that is an exchange for crypto, and it's kind of actually interesting. I was actually thinking about maybe hopping on it at some point because it has a lot of altcoins, and it is in a different country, but it does have a lot of good altcoins. And you know, I have been trading a little bit on Kraken, and Kraken has a small selection of altcoins, and I mostly trade on GDAX because the coins that I trade most are on GDAX, and of course those free limit buy and sell orders are really top notch on GDAX. So it's definitely my favorite exchange. But I was thinking about maybe trying Huobi, and I'm probably just destroying that. I'm so sorry for doing that, but I'll look up the pronunciation of that at a later time. But I was thinking about trying that exchange, and maybe picking up some like really goofy altcoins or something like that, and then just trading those around and see where they go, just for something to do. So maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't, I don't know. But it was kind of interesting. I checked it out after I had read this article, and it looked like an interesting exchange. So tech legend Steve Wozniak was scammed out of 70K of Bitcoin. So this is a really short article, and it's not particularly impressive, but the blockchain identifies who has Bitcoins. That doesn't mean there can't be fraud, though. I had 7 Bitcoins stolen from me through fraud, he reportedly told the audience. He said, somebody bought them from me online through a credit card, and they canceled the credit card payment. He went on to say it was that easy, and it was from a stolen credit card number, so you can never get it back. So, Steve Wozniak, you're a silly man. Now, it was only priced at $700 at the time, but now it's $71,000. So, that must have been quite some time ago. I don't think it actually states, like, the date. I suppose you could figure that date out by the fact that it was 700 and now it's 100 times that today. So, whatever 100 times back in the day was, and whatever date that could have been. So yeah, never accept a credit card payment for cryptocurrency because you can just put it on an exchange and then sell it pretty quickly. And why would Steve Wozniak want to sell $700 in Bitcoin anyway? I mean, what does $700 mean to Steve Wozniak? He was the co-founder, Apple co-founder, you know, so I'm sure this guy has more than $700, and I'm sure $700 would be like, it would take, that would be like going way out of your way to make like $7 or like 70 cents to like you or I. So that's a little weird that he would even do that anyway. So the self-proclaimed Satoshi Craig Wright was sued for $5 billion. And I've also seen this same article at $10 billion. So the way it goes is that basically Steve Wright took advantage of this. He actually, during the creation of Bitcoin, he was considered one of the co-creators of Bitcoin. And during that creation, he ended up stealing thousands and thousands of Bitcoin at some point, which totaled to be like $5 or $10 billion. And nobody really knew about it at the time. And now they're just beginning to sue him for that. So I don't really want to go into this article because it's a little bit boring, but I figured I'd bring it up because you're probably going to see this somewhere in the news lately or, you know, in the future. And so Craig Wright sued. We can talk about it for a little bit here. Chief scientist, self-proclaimed mind behind the Satoshi Nakamoto pseudonym, Craig Wright, is being sued for $5 billion. The suit is brought to the United States District. David Kleiman was a computer scientist and cybersecurity expert whom many suspect to have been one of the developers behind Bitcoin and the blockchain technology. In documents which surfaced on Reddit, the plaintiff claims that Wright stole hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin worth over $5 billion in today's rate from David Kleiman's estate. The statement by the plaintiff alleges that Wright recognized that Kleiman's friends and family were initially unaware of the wealth he accumulated, and then it just sort of goes on, it drones on, but that's basically it. So basically Craig Wright stole a ton, hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. So today, yeah, we're at $5 billion to $10 billion. I've seen this article at 10 billion. I've seen it at 5 billion. So nobody really knows exactly how much he stole, but it was a lot. Did I just say stoled? I think I did. So culprits apprehended alleged Icelandic Bitcoin miner theft. Icelandic Information Technology Service Advania has confirmed with their security footage that police have apprehended the right two men for the 3 burglaries at data centers in Iceland last December and January. Local news outlet Visir Icelandish reported February 21st. So that there were 3 burglaries in total from a period of December 5th through January 16th, and that 600 graphics cards, 100 power supplies, 100 motherboards, 100 memory disks, and 100 CPU processors have been taken from a house in the municipality of, not even going to give that a try. The burglars who broke into the data centers in municipality and not even going to give it a try, with a total of 600 PCs stolen. So they stole a whole bunch of PCs, whole bunch of graphics cards, 600 graphics cards. So worth that today is a ton. Also, I brought up this image here, and this basically reiterates what we're all feeling right now. It says, I work at a major electronics store. It's been like this for nearly a month. Absolutely nothing on the shelf. I think I maybe see a couple boxes there. Another article that says NVIDIA says gamers come first as cryptocurrency miners continue to hoard GPUs. Here's another one. NVIDIA speaks out against rising price of GPUs due to cryptocurrency mining. So I was actually talking about this a little while ago, and I had read an article, and I was actually trying to find it just before this, and I actually have it up here in my search engine. And I was trying to find it because it was basically NVIDIA did not know, they couldn't really calculate how much of their GPU sales were going directly to cryptocurrency mining. And I was it was kind of like a duh sort of situation, like probably a lot of them, because if you take a look at some of these secondhand retailers and things like that, the prices are absolutely ridiculous. How high have prices gone? The once humble NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 retailed at $200 back in April. As of January 28th, it's not uncommon to see the 1060 at prices from $400 to $800. The 1080 Ti, meanwhile, has a retail price of $700. That's inflated to at least $1,000 on Newegg, with most cards going between $1,200 and $1,400. Amazon does no better. We couldn't find any cards in stock direct from Amazon. Most listings provided from third-party stores were well above $1,000. So for NVIDIA, gamers come first, the company wrote in a comment on to a German website, Computer Base. So all activities related to our GeForce product line are targeted to our main audience to ensure that GeForce gamers continue to have good graphics cards availability at the current situation. We recommend that our trading partners make the appropriate arrangements to meet gamers' needs as usual. I even read in another article that it was basically NVIDIA was telling stores, retailers, to not sell graphics cards to miners. And I don't mean the child miners, I mean the cryptocurrency miners. And so I don't know exactly how you would even do that to begin with. How would you even determine? I mean, is the cashier supposed to say, hey, you're supposed to use this for gaming, or are you going to use this for mining? And then if you said mining, what are they supposed to do? Take the graphics card away from you? I don't think retailers want to do that. I don't think they care at all. Not even in the least. As long as their products are selling off the shelves like this, it doesn't matter if people want to take these outside and smash them on the street. It doesn't matter if people want to take these and melt them down and make those little green army action figures out of the plastic of the GPUs. Who cares? The retailers don't care. So I really think this is on AMD and NVIDIA to either A, make specific graphics cards for mining, which they kind of do. I know there's like the 104 series and things like that do not have monitor adapters on them, but they need to go further than that, much, much further than that. And they need to make, they either need to up their production, and I'm talking tenfold. They need to up their production, or they need to, or maybe 10, I don't know, at least double. I know tenfold is a little ridiculous, but they need to really get it in order. Or they need to make graphics cards specifically for miners so that they can start to mine. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, is that if everybody has access to as many graphics cards as they want, that means that difficulty is going to go up across the board, across all altcoins, and then nobody's going to make any money. It's kind of like playing a video game, and let's say that you're playing like some kind of RPG, and in that game, in that world, like let's use World of Warcraft for an example. So in that world, you have an auction house with all these items that people are putting on it, and in that world, gold is very hard to come by. Let's just say it's very, very hard to come by, particularly when WoW first came out, like vanilla World of Warcraft. I haven't played it since like 2008, but I certainly remember it quite well. And gold was very, very rare, right? And you might think to yourself, I wish there was more gold in this game so that I could buy everything that I want. But that's the problem, because if everybody had access to that, then it would just inflate all the prices anyway, and you still wouldn't be able to get what you want. So in one way, it's actually a really good thing that there's very few graphics cards out there and that they're being sold off the shelf like this, and that it's hard for people to get, because that means that if somebody else doesn't get a graphics card and you get the graphics card, you make the money and they don't. So if everybody in the world is able to get all the graphics cards that they need, then that means that just difficulty is going to go across the board when mining on all altcoins. And then that means that instead of making $10 a day or $20 a day or $30 a day, whatever you make from mining, you're going to make way less. You're going to make so little. It's going to just drop immediately. So rarity is a good thing in the world, because too much of anything, then it's just not very useful to everybody if there's too much of one thing. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it went on for a long time, so all of you who stuck it out for all these news articles and stuff, I thank you. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.